Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome back to the back porch with Danny and
Welcome
Shantae.
back to the back porch.
I know you've been looking forward to this moment all day.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
Understandable. I know. I just want everybody to know the first thing I did this morning was wake up and call Philip Boyd.
No. You
First thing. Woke up, bam.
Just called Philip Boyd at 6:58.
Just got off the phone with Philip 37 seconds ago. And it was a lovely conversation. He was very generous and kind and let me go because he said I had things to do. Hence, we're here tonight.
Here we are.
But Philip, you're a good man. I respect you greatly. Thankful for you. So as folks start jumping on here, I hope you had a wonderful Tuesday. Wonderful Tuesday.
Yep.
Is the world good evening to Miss Melanie
It's
and
Giving
everyone
Tuesday.
else?
Did you know that?
It's giving.
Did you know that before I told you?
Nope.
It's hashtag Giving Tuesday, which means that if there's a nonprofit organization that you care about, you can give to them. It's a special day to make special donations.
Wow, that's good to know.
It's a good day.
It's a giving day. It's
I
a
had
giving good
planned
day. It's a giving good day.
I had planned to run and get our teacher appreciation gifts and then come back quickly and change and put my Team Freedom shirt on for Hope for Justice so that I could say it's Giving Tuesday. But you can probably tell that didn't happen. So I'm just going to say Hope for Justice is a great nonprofit if you are looking for one on Giving Tuesday. We did the run, Team Freedom
That's
run.
right.
Michelle and Janaeh and I.
It's a relaxing ride home.
A great ride home. Long story. I got sick in Janae's car. That's the story. It's not really that long.
It's a short story, but it happened over and over
felt
and
long
over
when
again. They finally got here. I was like, what is taking so long? They got here, and it was one of those like looks that only moms can give kids when they're like, you're hurting for them.
Except I'm not a kid. They are definitely.
Man, those are two sweet ladies. They're like, oh,
So sorry again, Janaeh, for that.
here you go.
How do you know when someone is a good friend?
That's a
when
good friend.
they continue
We got some
driving
good
you home,
people.
despite the fact you've gotten sick in their car more than once.
I've done that a couple times. I have never done that actually, but she has.
Either way, it was a great cause, and it was a really fun weekend. And Hope for Justice does a lot of good things for young ladies and men around the world. And just today, a baby was born into freedom.
How cool is
So
that?
one of the young ladies that they had rescued delivered a baby into freedom. So it's a big
Very
day for
cool.
them, and
Very good
it's
day.
a great organization.
Praise the
So
Lord.
I don't have the shirt on because we ended up, instead of coming home, I ended up bringing plants home from Ace Hardware, and we planted them. So we look like we've been planting.
I look fresh and clean.
No,
I haven't put on a new shirt.
we don't look fresh and clean. I'm sorry.
I'm glad there's not a smeller on the Facebook. You know what I mean?
That's right. If
Let
you
me
could
just give you a
smell
hint.
us,
If this was
it
a scratch and sniff, you would go,
it's not ideal. If you can smell, you would leave.
mercy.
Zachary, you are right. At least it wasn't raining and freezing cold. It was actually the most beautiful race I've done in a year because all the other races I've done have been with Zachary, and we decided to pick
Yeah.
these races where it's going to freeze and
It's
rain
going
on
to be so
us.
rainy and coldy.
We ran an entire year of races in the rain and cold somehow, but
Just pick the
it
best
was beautiful and sunny, and then I got sick.
ones. And then she got sick.
It was not pretty.
then
Whatever
it-
you're imagining that makes it cute and fun, it was not that.
That's right.
Janaeh
Oh,
Weaver
yes.
deserves a medal. Just
Janaea Weaver and her kid who had
Just
to
for
ride in
that.
that car on the way to church the next day.
Next day.
That kid needs a hug. You know what I mean? From what I hear.
sorry, Weaver children.
They did some explaining.
I still need
Did
to
some
like
explaining.
pay to have your car detailed or something.
Probably should. It's okay.
Anyway, nobody wants to hear about that.
Nobody wants to hear about that.
Nobody
You want to
wants
hear
to
about the
hear about-
book of Ruth.
Ruth chapter 2, which goes on very long. I don't know if it felt long because we were rushing.
That British
didn't
guy read it
organize-
to me well, though. If you don't have that British guy
I didn't
reading to you
organize my
sometimes.
day well today, guys. I didn't. I usually try to get up early, and that didn't happen.
As you can tell,
Today was
when you look into the
dissertation
Harrell
day at our
household,
house, so nothing
I hope that
really
everybody
happened.
looks at us and goes, wow, those two folks have got it together. You know? They've got their
Nobody's ever.
like daily schedules together. Shantae, we
Their
wake
kids
up
go to bed at a reasonable hour
the kids sleep some, you know,
in their own beds.
in their own beds.
We could sell Nathaniel's bed right now, and he wouldn't miss it.
He wouldn't know he has
Ever.
it.
He wouldn't miss it. He would not.
You
even
sell
know
our
it was
bed,
gone.
everybody's missing that one. And I think we're probably at the bottom of the list of who's missing that one. It's crazy. We
Yeah,
cut
we
our
probably just
grass,
give up.
you know.
We plant gardens in the middle
We don't
of
let our
May.
dog walk in front of cars. He's
been a
fine.
productive
Don't
day.
worry, he's fine. But we've been making us
So
question today.
Tuesdays at our house are dissertation day, and what that means is
I'm working on my dissertation. I think
Danny works on his
I will get my
dissertation.
third PhD within the year. That's
No
my
one
goal.
else is getting a PhD at our house. No one else. No
Are you
one's
getting your
allowed.
doctor? You're in
Sorry.
school?
So on Tuesdays, Danny is
fun.
the parent of choice. And so you never know what might happen.
Force. It's not choice. There's no choice in it. Today I learned about two things that I didn't know existed. And it was second grade math and something in kindergarten reading.
Oh, was it array and array?
Array. Like a ray of sunshine.
You know what? I'm a math teacher. It's not like a ray of sunshine. That's
It has nothing to do with array.
Space R-A-Y.
It says array. As
Array
one of my
is
children said
A-R-R-A.
earlier, as
but
they were.
I have actually never heard of an array either. And I'm a math teacher.
Well, I
for
don't
high
feel as
school.
nearly as bad.
I'm not certified second grade. Everybody calm down. But I don't actually know arrays. I understood the concept of it. I've just
Anytime
not
you
heard
read the
that term.
description and after you read it, your first thought is, don't really know.
Luke came out on the porch after school work was over.
No, I didn't
and
hear
he
this.
said, "Hey, Mom, one of my papers for school was wrong." And my first thought was, I bet it wasn't.
Oh, it was wrong. It said this was the equation. Not dissing
He
anybody.
explained that it
2
said
plus 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 plus 2
it
plus
was
2
four
equals
sets
10.
of 2 and it said 10. He explained it to me and then I believed him. But my first thought was,
I'm not going to lie to you, and I hope nobody grades this
I
based
don't
off of
know.
this. My daughter, and she's in kindergarten, she had a math problem today, and I didn't even understand the directions, so I just trusted that she did and let her do it. It was something about, it was 5 boxes and
Counting
5
on?
boxes. No, I
No,
don't know what it's
it
called.
was.
5 boxes and 5 boxes.
Raise your hand if you know what that's
And
called.
then you had to
Moms.
do 11, 18, 21, 53, 46, and fill in the boxes. But there were only 10 boxes total.
You can add a box.
We did. We added boxes at the end. We pulled it together.
You can click the little plus and it adds a whole.
Thanks, Tommy McFarland.
Those are called tens frames.
10 frames. I did those today.
And you fill them in all the way to 10. And then so it's like 43. You have 4 full frames and then 1, 2, 3 in the top left corner of the frame. I do know that because I
We
teach
figured it
pre-K.
out. She knew what she was doing.
I learned it as a pre-K teacher though.
I don't
From
remember
a
what
second grade
happened.
teacher.
How far back would you say my memory just ceases?
Like 4 weeks. No, not really. I think
I have no
maybe
idea.
somewhere
Like-
around 14. If it's
Like,
before Danny
It's
was
gone. I don't know.
14. See,
I didn't
a
have
lot
any
of
traumatic. I
Leanne
have no
knows
idea.
the 10
Thanks,
frame.
Leanne. Okay, everybody, let's move on to the Book of Ruth. For the love of Peter, like Tommy McFarland's like, array, array. I get it, Leanne. I get it. 10 frames. Good
Well, you said
grief.
it's like a ray of sunshine.
These are the smartest Christians I know.
Not a ray of sunshine.
It's array. I was making a
But
sentence.
ray is a math term also. It's not.
Ray.
And it's not a ray. It's different. 4 weeks. Natalie laughed. Natalie
Let's
thinks
just get
I'm
honest
funny.
for a second.
Danny honestly cannot remember before, I would say,
Nada.
teenage years. Like if it happened when he
I don't
was
know.
10,
Like,
he doesn't know.
It's
he
the
doesn't
weirdest.
know
It's the
any of
weirdest
it.
thing. I don't know. Aliens. I don't believe in those or something.
He
I don't
has
know what happened.
no memory of
I
it.
mean, you showed me a picture, and I was like, "Yeah, I was there." I don't know. It's weird. It's the
He
weirdest thing.
can't. It's very strange.
Well,
Meanwhile, I think I
what's your
have
name?
a photographic memory of my childhood.
She has a photograph. Remember everything. If you're married to somebody like this, give me a shout out. Like Shantae can
I
say,
don't use it against you.
you don't. Shantae can say,
I do.
Let me okay. Let's just say, remember that one time we had that one argument 7 years ago.
I remember that
Remember
one
that?
argument. Yeah, I do.
Lasted about 30 seconds. Anyway, this one argument 7 years ago,
In real life, we probably argued.
aka
today,
probably 37
maybe
seconds ago.
yesterday.
In an argument
okay.
between these two here, this is how it usually unfolds. And then we'll stop halfway so we don't start arguing. At some
If we
point
do, then we're
early
gonna
on
sing a
in the
song, so,
argument,
yeah.
I'll sing a song. You know. Okay.
Hannah
At
knows.
some point in the argument, this girl I'm married to will say, let me tell you what you said. And then you can watch her eyebrows literally rewind history. Like it's literally like
That's not nice.
and she will verbatim with the correct grammar and punctuation, probably better than the one I originally used. Tell me what I said verbatim. You know, I usually say after that, I don't know what I said. I don't care what I said. 12
Usually,
minutes
for
ago.
some reason, that makes him more angry when I do that, rather than it doesn't fix anything. But I do remember what he said usually.
I'm just glad we never argue. I have
And
met
I'm
some of
glad
those
to know
people.
that if we do,
We
we're just going to
stop it.
sing a song.
Some people are like, "Oh, my parents, I've never seen them argue." My kids ain't saying that. They can't. Anyway, we do love each other. There's there. Thanks, Sarita. You get it. Rewind. All right. You have anything else you want to share? Giving Tuesday.
I think we're good. We covered Giving Tuesday.
We're probably like
We
9. What time is it?
explained
Like
why
9
we look
o'clock?
a hot mess. I think we covered the basics.
It's Taco Tuesday. And
It is.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de
Feliz
Mayo.
Navidad. Good grief.
We're excited about that because we haven't had dinner here yet, and so it's
But
coming.
we're still doing this.
Steak fajitas and hot
What was on
coffee
Hot coffee on,
on the
a 87 degrees.
degree back porch.
It's fine.
It's become a thing now. We have to do it. I don't
Somebody
even
told me,
think.
I feel like I'm drinking a cup of coffee with you.
Are you
That's
though?
what's up.
Because it's 7 o'clock. Probably you're not.
Probably.
When we started this, it was kind of cold outside.
You know,
Hot
when
cup of
Shawnee
coffee
and I
made-
first started this, whenever it was, how long ago? 7 weeks ago? A while back.
This is like 37. I don't know.
We had no
38,
idea,
39.
right? I don't think any of us had any idea.
This
that
would be
is the right.
happening for 4
It's not like we
days.
planned this out and said, and then the first 5 days, we're going,
We thought it would be
No.
like a cute thing to do for a day or
that'll be
something.
fun. The first time we had we almost argued. Did we argue about that? 'Cause you're like, I
No,
don't
but
wanna
I
be on
was
there.
really like, do I need to do this? Am I a part of this? I remember saying, let me go put some makeup on. 40 days later, still putting.
Can I
a
tell
little
them?
bit of makeup. I don't know. I'm scared.
I have nothing to say right now.
Probably.
Outside of this,
Yes, Miss Susan, it's Cinco
outside
at
of the
home.
little Facebook intimacy
Cinco de
group in the
Mayo.
backyard, how many times a day do you stop me to say you have to go put your makeup on?
What do you mean?
Like if we're at home all day,
0. That's
you
a
see me?
0.
She cares about her appearance to y'all way more than she does
0.
about me.
I don't
know
wear
why?
makeup except for this.
If you like it, should have put a ring on it. Guess what I did?
What does that have to do
Makeupless
with-
and all.
That's sweet.
You're cute though.
I
like
have
the dark
makeup on
shoulders.
right now.
Oh, you do? She doesn't have makeup on. It's amazing. Do you have makeup? Is that what we just talked about? I forgot. It's that forgetful. I don't know what's going on.
See, he's already kicked
I know
in.
what day it
Can't
is.
remember what happened.
But we do know the story of Ruth, and there's some good stuff in here.
It's like live action.
It's
in
so
there.
it's
There
such a
is no
long one.
playback.
I say we just summarize this.
Is
you know?
it so
Like,
long, or did we just really put it off?
I have thoughts on
It
it. I don't
felt
have any.
long
I have
because
nothing
we were
underlined.
trying so
So
hard
if you
to
got
read
something
it.
underlined, share it, and
In
we'll
case
talk about
there's
it.
ever a night where you're not caught up on the
Tuesday,
reading, don't
Taco
worry.
Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo. It's supposed to be the best night in human history. At home, it's okay. We're getting there. What's happening?
Hannah
Okay.
said every Friday night forever.
Forever. Okay, so in the book
Start,
of Ruth,
go.
chapter 2, this girl named Ruth, if you missed last night, you never heard the
She
story
must
before.
be pretty.
You think?
Yes.
All I'm saying is, some of those Christian
because
girls,
Boaz immediately is like, hold on.
throughout the scriptures, something about those Christian girls, but she's also a Moabite. Different story. So, Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, if you missed last night, they come back into the homeland of Israel because Naomi's husband died. Naomi's the mother-in-law.
Everybody's husband died.
All the men died.
The
Like,
2 sons and their dad.
there's a plague that takes out men. They're all gone. So then they go back to Israel.
Ooh.
Naomi's like, change my name to something sad. What was the name?
Mara.
Mara, which means bitter. She's just, it's sad. So the Lord will still provide.
She's like,
So the
I
very
was
next
going to
chapter-
be scotch-free, but now this girl came with
Now
me.
life is hard.
Just kidding. I don't think it was like
I think they have a close relationship. We're seeing it tonight. So, and stop me anytime. Don't let me
No,
overstep.
don't let me.
You are wearing
don't let
makeup,
me
and I do
crouch you.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Did you say don't let me crouch you?
No,
Crouching
I
Tiger,
did not say
Crouching
that.
Tiger, Hidden Dragon. You ever see that movie?
No, I did not say that.
I didn't.
Continue. Ruth.
So Ruth comes in, and Naomi's like, "Hey, we need to go get some food. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta go glean
We're
the
hungry.
fields for something to eat." Cool fact, and this is just a neat thing before we get into the depths of this stuff. The Lord, like Lord, all capital Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, same God, Father Jesus. God gave very specific instructions early on in the Israelite world. He gave them down to Moses. That gave very specific instructions for people when they were gleaning the fields, when they were harvesting a field. He instructed them to intentionally leave some of that on the ground so that the poor in the community could go and pick it up in the evenings. That's a cool
I
fact.
thought so too.
A very, very cool thing to know that the Christian faith, based off the Jewish faith, is huge in caring for the poor and those that are in need. So Boaz and his workers are doing what they have been instructed by Jewish law to do. It was the law. Like, it's not even like they felt good about it. Like, they might have hated it.
They
But
had
it was
to do
the
it.
law. They had to do it.
My notes said that they were instructed, like when you would go to the corner, you would round off, and the actual like triangle that was left would be for the impoverished, or even it said even like a resident alien, so somebody who was not even
Not
from
that,
country
and that's
could
who
go
these
in
folk- that's who
and
she
get
was.
fresh food.
Very,
now
very
it's the
cool.
leftover dropped pieces of wheat or whatever,
Yeah.
but still you wouldn't starve if you were able enough to go and glean from the corners of the fields or
Yeah.
behind what the people had dropped behind them.
Very impressive.
neat.
It's a neat, and it was a rule of law. Also, fun sidebar, Boaz's mom was who? Rahab. The prostitute who helped get the Israelite spies. I mean, it's just a cool story. So to me, before we get into any of this other stuff, to me, this chapter does a phenomenal job of kind of giving us a glimpse of God's perspective, of like,
It's a very
we
big
can't
picture.
see what's happening in the day to day. So you take a step back and see the bigger picture, like the world around us today or any other day. We don't really know. I saw a cool insert on Facebook. I was on Facebook for about 20 seconds earlier, and it was a Billy Graham sermon,
20
and he was
seconds.
quoting somebody, Habakkuk or somebody. But he was talking about that. He said, the Lord told, I think it was Habakkuk's like, hey, tell me what you're doing. And the Lord said, I can't tell you what you're doing, what I'm doing. If I did, you wouldn't believe me. And Billy Graham's whole thing to
good
his
quote.
congregation then was, God could tell us what he's doing now. We wouldn't believe him because we wouldn't understand. Anyway, I think this is a good chapter because it gives us like this picture of, God's always working. He's always at work there.
This is not scriptural or anything, but if you watch The Office, it's like when Michael Scott always has those little extra pieces where he says, and if you zoom in on that little ant, and then this eats the little ant, and you zoom out, and he goes all the way to like outer space and then
Yeah.
all the way back in. It reminds me of that. Like we see the picture of Ruth and Naomi as a sweet story, and there's a lot of details that we're going to read, but if you zoom out, you can
Yeah.
see that Boaz, who's now a character in the story, has this lineage about him that's really
This beautiful
super
lineage.
important.
Well, and
in
if
the
you're
bigger
reading,
story.
and that's what we're a fan of at y'all at Lake Point, of reading the entirety of Scripture, like the whole story, because also, I'm not going to lie, as a kid, I was really intrigued by this thing, but even as an adult, I read that story of the spies, and they go in, and like this random prostitute helps them out and helps them escape. As a kid, I was like, first off, what's a prostitute, Sunday school teacher? Second, why are we talking
a
about this
heavy
in church?
topic
You know what I mean?
for Sunday school.
But then you're like, why are we naming this girl?
Well,
But then you
she's a
see
very
it.
random part of that story.
Random
for
part
them
of the
to even
story.
mention ahead
But
of
then
time.
you get into this, and then if you want to cheat a little bit, get into Matthew chapter 1. It gives the genealogy of Jesus, and it has Jesus and David and all Joseph, all the way back to Boaz, all the way back to Rahab, to David. It's a beautiful story. Like it shows that God's hand is at work throughout this entire
it's
entire
very
thing.
cool. Also,
Really cool.
I would just like to point out that Boaz really came from a lowly position in life to now
made it.
be a
Yeah,
very
owning his own
successful
field.
crop owner.
Yeah.
I mean, to be the son of a prostitute in Jericho, which was destroyed.
Destroyed. Take
Except
that
for
one.
her house. She was the one household.
Her and her
maybe
household. Maybe
that
him.
helped him.
I mean, for real, maybe he was
The
one. He could have
surviving
got out.
household,
You know
but-
what I bet they did after that? They converted to Judaism. They're like,
Well, yeah. Well, then the
Like-
Jewish people move into Jericho, and now they make a name for themselves that's not on
Absolutely.
the same level where he would have been. otherwise,
Absolutely.
if
Change
they
of
had
direction.
even survived.
crazy stuff. So Naomi instructs Ruth to go into Boaz's field and glean, which is by law, and get some food for him. She does. Boaz takes notice of her. I do think she was beautiful.
She
I
must have been
also
pretty.
think, sidebar, I'm a fan of beauty. You know what I mean? But also,
Sweet.
there is something about a woman of noble character or a man of noble character, a person of strong character. I think he's noticing this girl for a lot
Well,
of
he
reasons.
even says, like, word's gotten around of all that you did for your mother-in-law.
Words,
Like, we know who
AKA,
you are.
I've been asking about you. You know what I mean? It's not like he's like, oh, who's this
Still
random
think she
attractive
must have
girl?
been really pretty.
He was asking about this girl to
Yeah.
make sure she wasn't like married to some strong guy. He found out that she was single, but then even more than that, which is crazy, finds out like it's just Naomi's kid. He's related to Naomi, and it keeps going. I'm going to run with this if you got something.
That's
you wanna
fine.
say.
Yeah, it's
This
kind of a
crazy
story.
thing that so like at the end of the day, he says, "I'm going to take care of you. I'll give you extra." He's like, "We're going to hook you up." She goes back to Naomi, and Naomi's like, "This is of the Lord."
Mm-hmm.
Now, at different times, I'll read that and I'll go, "All right, Naomi, you're trying to marry this girl off." But one of the things, where's the actual verse, babe? Where she says, "Redeemer," the word "redeemer,"
Like kinsman.
kinsman, like kinsman redeemer. Another
further
cool thing,
down, yeah.
further down,
I'll find it.
Naomi's piecing things together, and she says to Ruth, "This is of the Lord." That's what it's all piecing together. Because remember, Naomi was a widow, Ruth was a widow that didn't have any kids, so their lineage had stopped. You know, they had already been married to somebody. Their lineage had stopped according to their culture. So Boaz comes along and starts asking about her, and he's also related. And it goes back again to old Jewish law that says if something happens to your husband, you marry your husband's brother. Well, his husband's brother was dead. So then you got to marry a living relative in order
So he
to continue the family.
qualifies, in other words.
I think Naomi was seeing this stuff, and she was like, "This is the Lord's work. Like this is all working out together for us."
In my version, it just says he's one of our close relatives. But let me just read through this.
What verse is that?
20, number 20. And I'm going to read through the little notation. Not the entire thing. It's a little bit lengthy, but just hang with me. It says, 2 important Hebrew concepts were motivated by commitment to family and a determination to cooperate in continuing the family line. So in Hebrew, it's called kinsman redeemer, which is what
Kinsman
she
redeemer,
said,
yeah.
close relative. That's really the word she used.
Yep.
It says the practice of Levirate marriage, which I guess is based on Levi, the law of Levi. Only in the book of Ruth are these two concepts linked. The close relative or kinsman redeemer function on behalf of another person and his property within the family circle in a time of crisis. So it's actually a title. Someone in your family can come in a time of crisis and kind of set things right, handle your affairs, all those things. Number one, he redeems property by purchasing what has been lost and returning it to the one who was forced to sell. So if there was like you lost it because of some sort of hardship, he would come in and purchase it and give it back to you. He redeems persons, that is a relative who was forced to sell himself into slavery. And the third one is that he redeems blood, that is he avenges the death of a relative who's been murdered, which sounds very interesting.
That's legitimate.
But it's like
right there.
in the law, one of your relatives have a position, especially in the case of a widow, to come in and sort of maybe make sure that everything is exactly the way you need it to be.
That's good stuff.
One verse that I really like is verse 12, backing up a little bit. Now Boaz, so basically Boaz has seen Ruth. He's asked who she is.
Yep.
Then he tells his workers, hey, don't bother her.
Which
let
is
her go
good.
with
I
the
love
other
that.
ladies and let her drink out of the well where we're drawing from. Like basically, she's going to be safe now and not just gleaning with other poor people in the community. She's going to be
there was
with his workers.
You figure these are poor
Couldn't be
folks,
very safe.
especially poor single women. There was a lot of risk there. To me, I think that shows a lot about his heart too. Like he not only knows that she's a beautiful girl,
but he wants to
but he
keep
wants
her
to
safe.
care for her. That's a good man.
So instead
He's
of
a
just
good
being
man.
on the corner of the field where it's probably very unsafe for a beautiful young woman, he says, go in here with my young women, do everything they do. And she's basically like, thank you, you're treating me like one of your maidservants, even when I'm not. And he says in verse 11, Boaz answered and said to her, it has been fully reported to me all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you left your father and mother, the land of your birth, and have come to a people whom you did not know before. Then this is the verse I like, number 12. The Lord repay your work, and a full reward be given to you by the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings you have come for refuge.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
And he
beautiful.
uses Yahweh right there. So it's
He's a
another
strong
almost
believer.
covenant statement saying you're going to be taken care of from now on because you came to live with our people group. Now you're in the refuge of God's people.
Yeah, he's speaking
It's
a
a really
promise
pretty verse.
over her. And you figure he's got a lot of authority. He's got money. He's got clout. He also has a strong faith. As far as we know, he does not married, has no kids either. I mean, like this guy, he's
No, I
a
think
young,
he's
probably
single.
in my mind,
Yeah.
he's like a prince. You know what I mean, from a Disney movie. But I also think that when you see him speaking this over her, he's making a promise
That's a meaningful
to
thing.
her. He's speaking something very strong and powerful over her. And I think it also ties in and lets us see that the Lord didn't not see. It's not like God went to sleep and didn't realize that
He
this
didn't
woman,
neglect Ruth.
right? Like Ruth is being, I mean, let's be honest, she's being blessed because of her faith, like because of what she
I
chose
also
to do.
really like that this is day one. Ruth and Naomi get home, and it says they basically wake up the next day, and they're like, hey, we're hungry. And Naomi says, go find somewhere to glean in the poverty fields, basically. And Ruth happens to walk onto this field the first day, because in a minute earlier in the chapter, but and just a little while after she's been there, that's when Boaz says, hey, who's this girl? And the servant says, well, she came this morning, and she's worked with us all day. She rested a while, ate in the house, kind of like where we all broke for lunch. She came in, but I feel like it's immediate. She never had to wait.
I like that.
For the promise to be fulfilled, almost. She already knows she's
Because
gonna
right
be taken
before
care of.
there, and not to go back, but in chapter 1, verse 21, let me just read this verse and then I'm out. But like it's Naomi, she comes back and she says, they're like, what happened, Naomi? Well, you're back and stuff. She says, I went away full and the Lord has brought me back empty. And then she asks this question, why call me Naomi when the Lord has testified against me and the Almighty has brought calamity upon me? So Naomi's coming back saying, I don't understand why the Lord's done this. I don't know what's coming next. But she's, in my opinion, she's never doubted her faith. She's never doubted the Lord. She's saying, I don't know why the Lord's doing this, but he's doing it. And then we see right after that, you're right. It's like in this, it's almost like the Lord turns the page and says, and now we can move on with the story. You know, now
and
we're going to
I like
continue.
it that when Ruth gets back home, we didn't really talk about this, but basically Boaz comes to her at the next mealtime and says, "Come eat with me, have some bread." She eats until she's full,
which is
and
rare.
then he sends her home with extra food, and that's when Naomi is
So
like, "Where did you go?
What's up, girl?
What
You
field
in the
did
Golden
you
Corral
clean
or
in?"
something?
And then Ruth explains the day she's had, and I think she probably has to recognize that's not normal.
Mm-hmm.
But she also is not from a culture that probably has a kinsman redeemer. It's not a Moabite tradition to have that.
Yep.
It's from Judah
And-
that's
yeah.
that law. So she's not really aware
She didn't know what's
of
going on with this.
Boaz's status or
Right.
anything. And so when Naomi explains to her, like, wait a minute, he's taking care of you. This is purposeful.
Yeah.
It's almost like if she had known that, it might have been that she sought him out. But she
That's
clearly didn't.
That's
She
all.
didn't know what she was doing.
So, and one other random thought about this is that I think it's also powerful to see. One, it's powerful to see that the Lord's hands at work naturally in the bigger story picture, the storyline point of view. But also, there is something about a woman and a woman and a man and a man. But in this story, Naomi, like the relationship that she has with Ruth, like there's something about Ruth at the end of the day being able to go back and have a conversation with Naomi, who is older and wiser and been married, and we're going to see that in the next couple of chapters, is able to say, all right, let me
help you
tell you what's
understand
going on. But she's not forcing anything. She's kind of walking with her. I think that's powerful.
Well,
I love it.
Naomi, in the rest of the week, we'll see, she plays a very active role in telling Ruth how to behave.
Yeah.
She goes and says, like, now do this, and go talk to his people. And so she's aware of all the customs and traditions. So she's really mentoring Ruth, even when Ruth doesn't.
Get it, understand. When it
Realize
says
it.
that very last verse says, so she kept close to the young women of Boaz. So Ruth's working with all these young women, many of whom are very likely single.
Through the entire barley
Many
season.
of whom are everything else. I mean, she's working there with young people. I mean, they didn't have a crazy nightlife, but I'm just saying, like, she had options of things that she could do. But look at the very last verse. It says, and she continued to live with her mother-in-law. Like, she continued to fulfill that promise that she made to Ruth.
Right.
I'm sorry, to
didn't
Naomi.
sway from that.
She said, I'm still here. We're going to do this thing together. That's a strong
Sweet
relationship.
story. I love this story.
I love this story. I love makeup.
It's not even, I didn't even really have time to do it right. So please don't draw attention to my lack of makeup or otherwise.
I've got nothing.
We were in the garden at 6:30.
I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses.
Do you? No, you don't. We don't wake up early enough for that. We're not early risers.
We don't have roses. We have weeds.
Don't have
the same
roses,
thing.
first of all. We have gardenia bushes,
We do, and they're growing well. Those are some Georgia plants.
but we're not outside to see the dew.
bluebird.
We
So
don't.
pretty.
We're not responsible enough for that.
We're
That's
trying.
the truth. We're not.
To
We stay up
be-
late, and then it sets the whole next day off.
And here we go. And
During
now we're going to go eat some
quarantine,
tacos.
I have to say.
You
And
know what I mean?
now it's about to be Taco
Cinco de
Tuesday.
Mayo is
Cinco
about to
de
get
Mayo.
on. So I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday evening. Know that we're here for you. We're thankful for you. Just in case you're not watching any other day this week, we are gathering together for a drive-in service this Sunday at Morgan County High School. Come out and join us at 11 o'clock. We'll be there. And look forward to seeing all of you in your cars, honking the horns and all that stuff. But if you need anything, reach out to us. Anything else?
Tomorrow, will we be on our normal schedule? I know we are
I don't know.
meeting. It may not be exactly
We'll
7
just-
o'clock.
we'll be on there
and
sometime
It may
tomorrow.
not be our back porch.
It'll be somewhere. Maybe from the high school. I don't know. We'll
We've
figure it
got
out.
some work to do to get
To get ready.
preparations for Sunday.
It's going to be a good time, y'all.
We will meet tomorrow. It just may not be 7:01 like it was today. So
Hey, this is a
punctual.
let me give a random shout out. I'm so thankful for everybody in our church and folks that are able to watch from all over the place. I've had a conversation with a few other pastors and groups that work with pastors all over the country. And one of the most impressive things, so many impressive things about our church so far, is not even in the number of views that we have had in the worship services, because I've had conversations with other guys who have had even larger amounts of views than we have with our size, but in the number of comments below, that is really sticking out with a
That
lot of
is
folks.
true. A
The
lot of
type of
people are
relationship that we have with each other. They say not only are people viewing, but they're commenting and then having conversations.
We've had multiple congregation representatives talk to us
Yep.
about how are you getting your
How
people
are
to
you
talk
getting
to
that
each
type
other
of
like that?
conversation
So
going?
that's you
and I'm saying
guys.
we're not doing anything. That's the
That
Lord,
is
and that's
the
our church
sweetest
family.
thing. I love
So continue to comment on there and let each other know that you're here. And
It's one of my favorite things about Sunday morning is that we all can sort of chat below the feed.
below the feed.
It's a lot of fun. So if you're not chatting,
Chat.
join in. Join in. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. We're here for you. All right. We will see you guys tomorrow
Tomorrow
night
night,
at some place.
sometime around 7.
Somewhere
Ruth
around 7.
Chapter 3.
Ruth 3. Holla back. Bye.
Bye.